It was 1926. They called it the Roaring Twenties. Babe Ruth, Prohibition, and President Calvin Coolidge dominated the headlines. Bus operators were represented by the bus division of the American Automobile Association.
The forefathers of the American Bus Association really were visionary back in 1926.
Mobility is really at the fabric of the founding of AAA and also of ABA. It's a part of our society.
The intercity bus was kind of the magic chariot, and it was the symbol of escape to a magic place. The bus symbolizes the ability to go somewhere.
In 1929, the growing organization became independent, changing its name to the National Association of Motor Bus Operators, or NAMBO.
We really need to form an organization that can watch out for us, for our concerns, for the industry.
When the Great Depression hit, Americans needed an affordable and flexible form of transportation.
Rail travel was obviously very, very expensive and only went to certain destinations, and the bus was really kind of coming into its own.
With this in mind, NAMBO adopted its first code of principles built around three fundamentals: safety, reliability, and comfort. In 1935, the industry won a huge victory when President Roosevelt signed the law forming the Interstate Commerce Commission. The ICC regulated interstate transportation and brought order to a chaotic patchwork of state and local laws.
They had to have ICC authority to be able to run certain routes.
When war came in 1941, the bus industry stepped up. From the start of the war through 1945, the bus industry moved hundreds of thousands of soldiers on their way to bases before being launched to Europe and the Pacific. Post-war America brought rapid change as affordable jet travel, families buying new cars, interstate highways, and the economic boom of the 50s and 60s once again challenged the motor coach industry.
The explosion of air travel, really changed the way people moved. They weren't traveling by train, they weren't traveling as long distance by bus in the same way.
Safe, well-maintained roads have always been a priority of ABA, so we pushed hard for the creation of the interstate highway system. But the country was facing big issues such as race relations.
I have a dream.
And the motor coach industry was on the right side of history, taking freedom riders to the Deep South and thousands by charter buses to Washington, D.C. to hear Martin Luther King Jr. tell us his dream.
We've always been inclusive, we've always been diverse, we've always welcomed everybody to the table.
And we've always been leaders. ABA members were the first to see how the charter, tour, and travel segment of the industry was becoming a bigger part of the business.
40 or 50 years ago, we began to invite the travel industry into the association. Some very visionary members of ABA's board of directors helped create Marketplace nearly 40 years ago.
In 1977, we changed our name to the American Bus Association, and ABA took up the fight in Washington to deregulate the industry.
Together, we can reach that goal.
That was a game changer in the industry.
As new companies have joined ABA over the last 30 years, our mission has remained the same, and the concerns of our nearly 4,000 members continue to be heard.
When there are regulatory matters or legislative matters that come before Congress, we're in a position to help make sure that the congressmen, the regulators understand what we do and how we do it.
AAA would really like to offer its heartfelt congratulations to ABA on 90 years, which is incredible, being one of the most well-respected and vocal voices, and really one of the most important voices in our industry.
When you look back over history, whether it was Martin Luther King's address here, whether it was moving troops, whether it was some other monumental event, we moved thousands upon thousands of people on almost a moment's notice and millions of people a day.
I couldn't be anything but optimistic about the future of the bus business. If the bus industry is to have the bright future that I think it has, the ABA has to be part of it. It has to be right in the middle of it.
We've always been an association that's been flexible, that's been nimble, that's been forward-thinking. If our forefathers at the American Bus Association came back from 1926 and looked at what we're doing today, I think they say, wow, job well done, keep it up.
Now, as we celebrate the successes of the past 90 years and look forward to the future, we salute you, our members, those who have been with us since the very beginning, and those who join us every day. Together, we are the American Bus Association, ABA.